Dallas Cheer would like to welcome you to
Falcon Football Weekly.
Taylor snapping, here we go, shine drill. Ready, set.
I'm John Piper, and we do want to thank the Lake Dallas Quarterback Club for presenting Falcon Football each and every week during the season. You can find us on Apple Podcast, on the iHeartRadio app, Google Podcast, or on Spreaker.com. I'm joined live each and every week with head coach Michael Young. Good evening, Coach.
Good evening.
Wow. One of our storylines all season has been this weather. Any outdoor sport, especially football, weather impacts it unless you're playing inside the Star over in Frisco, which you're not this week. But I'm sure you were excited this morning when you got up, and it was, I think, maybe 59, 60, 62 degrees. Definitely felt more like football season, didn't it?
Oh, definitely. It's been a really hot, just miserable year at practice, to have that kind of temperatures we've been having. It seems like every day. This is going to feel a lot better. I wish we'd have gotten some rain out of it because we need that too, but it definitely feels a lot better outside.
Well, it's going to spike up, get back to, upper 80s, maybe low 90s. However, come Friday night, right there at Falcon Field, it's going to dip into, I think the high is only like 62 with a chance of some rain and a low of 42 in the evening. So it's probably, once the sun sets, it's going to be in the mid-50s at game time.
Yeah, that'll be good football weather. It's going to be a lot better. Last year we seemed to get rain about every Friday night. So we have avoided the rain. It's just the heat, though, that's going to feel a lot better this weekend.
Does that impact any strategy, Coach, when the temperatures get in the 50s and it might be a little wet? Obviously, you want to try to run the ball more versus pass it, but do you have a game plan in case there's inclement weather versus if there's, the sun shining? Does that impact your planning during the week?
Oh, definitely. We always keep close eye on what the weather's going to be. Rain's a factor if it's coming down real hard. If it's a light rain, it's not as big an issue, but wind is a big factor in your game and your game plan. What you're doing when you're against the wind or with the wind on offense and on defense, how you defend somebody different when you're against the wind or with the wind. So weather is always a factor in everything in what you're doing and what you're planning for the week.
Yeah, and definitely the kicking game as well, depending on if you want to go for it, punt the ball, try maybe a long field goal. You've got the wind behind
fourth and ones from your 45. If you have a 25-mile-an-hour wind in your face, you're liable to be more likely to go for it just because you're not going to make up a whole lot of difference punting the ball. So there's things like that really make a big difference in the strategy of what goes on during the game.
Well, Coach, before we get into Frisco comes to town. The Frisco Raccoons on Friday night, coming in 6-0, playing some good football. Let's talk a little bit about the road trip up to Euro Stomping Grounds up in Denison last week. Got off to a slow start. Denison jumps out 24-0. It was just hard to get things going. They ran the ball well, 369 yards rushing. And, I'm confident that the Falcons, make some adjustments this week after watching some film and working on some things in practice this week. What were some of your takeaways, you and the staff, from that Denison game?
Well, the craziest part of that game is we outgained them in total yards. We just turned the ball over. Fumbles, interceptions. We dropped a snap on the punt, and it got blocked and got returned for a touchdown. We just pretty much handed them about 30 points in turnovers, and you just can't turn the ball over like that. So it was just one of those games. It was just everything that seemed to go wrong did go wrong. And it was a tough one to swallow, but we've had a good weekend. We had a good practice today, and I know we're going to play a good football game Friday night at home against Frisco.
Well, those are some good takeaways, that the team can look at and say, hey, we're able to move the ball. We're able to rack up some yards. You just got to button some things up, make a lot less mistakes this week. And the good news is, Coach, there's 5 games left in the season. You kind of reset the clock. Win the next 4 out of 5 and, still, good shot at the playoffs. The season's still alive and well. And, each game presents a new opportunity for your team.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity here. We're playing a really good team. They're the number one team in our district right now until someone says different. They knocked off Reedy. They've already beat Braswell. So they've looked really good. They're ranked, I think, the Dallas Morning News 5A poll now like 8 or 9 last I saw. So, but this is a great opportunity. Last year they won a close game against us at their place. We didn't play very good offensively, but we feel good about the plan we have put together. It's a great challenge, but I think our kids are excited about it. It's always fun to play a really good football team at home, and we got a chance to do that Friday.
Well, Coach, the good news is you're playing there at Falcon Field. You just roll right out of the field house onto the turf. You're very comfortable there. What's it going to take to get the win on Friday night? And really, let's face it, pull off a pretty sizable upset, which would be a fantastic win on Friday.
Well, they're quite a challenge. They're really athletic, both sides of the ball. They run a different kind of offense than you usually see. They run an old-fashioned, wing tee offense, and they run a lot of clock. It's going to be a shortened game. We're probably going to run the ball a lot too. There's not going to be a lot of possessions. That can be kind of in your favor sometimes when you're playing somebody that's a heavy favorite. We just got to take advantage of the times when we have it and score some points. And, we're going to have to get stops. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of possessions, so every one of them is going to be really important. Who
are some of the key players for Frisco that the Falcons are going to have to slow down to have a good opportunity to win the ball game?
Number 4, their outside receivers by far. He's got, about 3 times more yards than anybody else they have receivers. And, he's just a load. Big, tall. He also plays corner, plays pretty much the entire game, both sides of the ball. And their quarterback is really dynamic too in running this. They run about 5 or 6 running plays, but they all look very similar in the swing tee. It's really hard to stop. He's good at kind of controlling that. They have an offensive line that's really good at what they do too. They get low off the ground. They really come off hard. So it's a challenge. It's something totally different than what you see. Really 9 of the 10 weeks we see offenses that are really pretty similar to each other. Shotgun, 1 back, maybe some 2 back, 3 or 4 wide. Well, this is a whole different deal. You're going to see 1 wide receiver. You're going to see 2 tight ends, 2 wing backs, and it's a whole different thing to get ready for. But, we've seen it before from them last year. We played some other wing tee teams, so we kind of know what we want to do and how to prepare for it. So, but it's going to be a challenge for sure defensively.
Well, Coach, let's take a step back. I know you've talked early and often about the future is very bright there with the underclassmen coming up. Not only your feeder middle schools, but your sub-varsity freshman JV teams. Let's talk a little bit about those teams, the players of the week, and to start with freshman Andre Minifield. What can you say about his performance this past week?
Well, Andre, he quite possibly could be one of the most talented players we've had come up, especially offensively. He's a dynamic running back. We've had some great running backs in the past. A lot of our running backs have kind of been spread guys that catch it, run around. He's really a downhill, old-fashioned eye-back kind of running back. He's really a big-time talent. We're really excited about what his future here is going to be. It's going to be a good one. I think he's going to have a really good chance of being one of the best backs that we've had for sure since we've been here yard-wise. So he's had a good season. Our freshmen have had a great year. They lost 1 game by 1 point to Frisco Reedy. They were winning that game. The whole game were in total control of it. They scored two touchdowns late in the game and recovered an onside kick on one of the drives to do it. But they've been scoring about 40 points a game. They're quite a group to watch, and they're talented, and we're looking forward to that group. And
then on the junior varsity, Harley Fuller.
Yeah, Harley's our punter and kicker on the JV team. He's really works hard. He comes in every morning early, kicks. He's a good kicker, and he had some incredible punts in the game the other night. He had 2 of them that were close right at 50 yards. So we got some good talented guys on that group as well in that team, and we're excited about it. Our 7th and 8th grade teams are both playing really good. I think our 8th grade team has a chance of winning the district championship, and that's really difficult to do in that Denton league. So we got some good teams down there. I got a son that's on the 8th grade team, so I get to go to all those games. I go to most all the 7th grade games. One of our other coaches' sons on that team, so we get some good talent down there in the middle school as well.
Yeah, that's always fun having you know, I've worked with a lot of coaches that have boys that come up through their own programs, and I know that's something that you've got to be excited about, to have the opportunity to coach your own son and some of the other staff members. Boys coming up through the Falcon program's got to be an exciting as a father and a coach.
Oh yeah, that's, you know, I've known the guys in my son's grade, the 8th graders, for a long time. They've grown up playing little league and flag together, so it's really fun to go to their games and watch them because they've turned into a good little football team that we're really excited about. And it's, you know, you get to know all the parents and the kids, and it's a good time to go watch them play.
No, Brandon Engel, he took most of the snaps at quarterback this past week. What's the plan, you know, with Frisco? You have Brandon Engel back at quarterback. You have him out at wide receiver. You mix it up a little bit with Trevor Moon.
We're going to mix it up with him a little bit. We're going to use him kind of in some ways that help us. We think we can win the game. He might even play a little defense. You never know, but he's one of our great talents, and we got to use him. He's got the skill set to kind of be effective against these guys. You know, the Frisco is just really super athletic and fast. It's probably as fast as a group as I've seen, skill position wise. So we'll use him in some different spots. And hopefully he can help us score some touchdowns. Maybe he can get some stops and help us win the game.
Well, I know last year at the receiver position, he drew a ton of double teams in the same Frisco game. So whether he's out at the receiver position, he'll probably get some double team. It'll free up some opportunities for some of your other receivers or your running back. So wherever you put him, it should free up some opportunities for some of the other Falcons.
Oh yeah, he creates other things just by the way people defend him, for sure. So that helps some of our running game as well when he's in there. Just when he draws the double team, and they did a really good job of shutting him out last year. They really shut us out. Period. We had a hard time. We were really rolling offensively going into that game and just really had a struggle getting anything going. So, you know, it's going to be a challenge with their speed defensively to make plays.
Well, Coach, one thing that we want to reinforce again, I know you do a great job, as well as the Lake Dallas Falcon Quarterback Club, in spreading this message. But the month of October is Pink Out. And I'll just give you the floor there to talk a little bit more about how important that is in the community and how the Falcon community can support this initiative.
Well, we always pick somebody in the staff in the district that's going through, battles with cancer. It can be very expensive. It's very difficult on the family, the bills. We try to just help out a little bit as we can. I think the most important thing is I think that people really appreciate the community and school district kind of coming together to help them out. So, you can go to our quarterback club website. You can purchase T-shirts. You make donations. I know the volleyball has done a great job too. They're in it with us. The shirt has both volleyball and football on it. They have things on their volleyball website where you can silent auction items. Like they had them at the back of their volleyball game the other night. So just, any way you can help out, appreciate it. And it's going to go definitely to a great cause.
Well, Coach Young, and best of luck on Friday night. Again, it's going to be a great opportunity to come back from some adversity, have the Falcon team just battle. And what an opportunity to knock off a 6-0 Frisco Raccoon team. Be a fantastic night to come out with a victory.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a great night, temperature, weather-wise. It's going to be more like football. So come out, it's going to be a great game, exciting game. We've had a lot of good games with Frisco in the past, and I think it's going to be another good one Friday night.
Well, let's pack the place. Come out early. It'll be definitely some chili for the tailgating and some different types of food options. So come out early to see everybody out there at the stadium at 5:36. Kickoff at 7.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll see you Friday night.